So the Tardis arc comes to a close with this chapter of Fairy Tail. And with this chapter of Fairy Tail, it seems like Hiro Mashima once again has given us an amazing chapter. We find out that Natsu is End. Now, let's be real here. We all technically saw this coming, but to actually see how Natsu is in fact End, and he is the demon that will take down Zeref, and on top of that, with this chapter, we have it to where the Fairy Tail Guild gets disbanded. Like, it disbands, and Fairy Tail is no more. That was one of the shocking points of this chapter. Like, I did not see Fairy Tail disbanding, and it looks like the way this chapter was structured was that we are going to have a time skip. Because at the end of the chapter, Natsu is going on a journey. He said he will be back in a year or so to Lucy, and he's going to go train to where he can get stronger. And you have it to where these other segments of this chapter with, for instance, Gray and Juvia, they're off in their own, you know, pretty much at the gravesite of Gray's father. And it seems like they might even go off on their own journey and stuff like that. So, everything in this chapter is pretty much setting up for a time skip. That's exactly how this actual chapter was structured. Because, I mean, it's the end of the arc of Tardis, and Natsu says he'll be back in a year, so I feel like we will be getting a time skip. I really believe we will. But nonetheless, besides that, with this chapter, Fairy Tail disbands, and this is actually a very monumental moment for the series. It is, because that's the title name of the series, Fairy Tail. And Fairy Tail just disbanded, and it's no longer a guild. And to see this, it's sad. It's fucking sad because, I mean, Mashima is setting up something really good with these past 3 chapters. Like, these past 3 chapters of Fairy Tail are setting up for something very, very amazing. For instance, it makes me believe that we're getting on to the final segment of Fairy Tail, because, I mean, you have it to where Natsu finally has this motivation to take down, technically, Zeref and Ocnologia. You have it to where all the other Fairy Tail Guild members have gotten their motivation or drive to continue to get stronger, and then you have it to the entire bit with this romance progression with Juvia and Gray. I mean, there's just so much going on in this chapter, in these past 3 chapters, that are setting up for something very dark. Now, I really, really hope what Mashima is doing here, the cards he has laid on the table for these past 3 chapters, has been incredible. It has been really fucking amazing seeing Mashima start off 2015 of Fairy Tail with these past 3 great chapters. And I really hope he doesn't stop now at this chapter, because this was a great way to end an arc, and at the exact same time, it's a great way to get the, you know, blood pumping for the next arc of Fairy Tail. For instance, I really want to see what direction Mashima is going to take, because if Natsu is in, we have to factor this in real quick, okay? Look at what Gray is at the moment. He is a demon slayer. Gray is a demon slayer. And then Natsu is now technically kind of confirmed a demon, made by Zeref himself. Now, Ocnologia is scared technically of End, okay? And most likely, you know, Ignil also knew that his son, or his foster son, was End. And on top of that, we have to figure about this, okay? Gray is going to pretty much kill demons and all that. So that most likely might mean that he might come after Natsu. And on top of that too, since technically End is made by Zeref, that would mean that Zeref technically might have some control over Natsu. And it also explains the connection between Natsu and Zeref a long time ago on the island. So, this technically has been foreshadowed. It's been there. The connections have been there. But the thing on top of this is like, can Zeref gain control of Natsu? Because if that happens, one of the final battles of the series might actually be Gray versus Natsu. And that would be a very interesting turn of events if it does go like that. And on top of that, with the guild separated and shattered with this chapter, we have to wonder what direction is everybody going to take. Like, at the ending of this chapter, Lucy, we see her running out to try to figure out where Natsu is going, and I noticed Mashima did a specific panel in this chapter to show that Lucy's key, her celestial spirit key with Aquarius, was shattered in half. And when I saw that, I'm like, fuck, man, because that shit was sad, okay? You can say what you want about Lucy, you can say what you want about Aquarius, you can say whatever you want, but that scene in Tardis' arc was one of the saddest moments of the arc, and it was just a really great moment for Lucy as a character to shine, and to see something like that, I was taken aback. I was, when I first read Fairy Tail's chapter on that. And to see how Mashima once again is showing that factor that Aquarius is gone, it's pretty sad. It really is. So, yeah, it was another wonderful chapter. Like, Dirt on Bolt. Oh, God, dude. Like, oh. Holy shit. The inception twist of that. Like, dude, I would mindfuck, man. Just straight up mindfuck when I found out about Durlan Bolt. Durlan Bolt is actually a Fairy Tail member. I was like, what? Like, we find out that he actually infiltrated the council on Fairy Tail's orders. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what? So he infiltrates the council. And he removed his own memory to make sure he could actually infiltrate to the council. And then on the island, when, you know, we first got introduced to him, he already had his memories erased. He was already a Fairy Tail member, and when he was actually betraying as a Fairy Tail member, he was there all along. But he's been manipulating his memories for God knows how long to actually get into the council. And then when, you know, we had the reveal that he is a Fairy Tail member in this chapter, I'm like, what the fuck? So, whoa. Like, shit. The setup there. And then you have Jarl and his, you know, band, a ragtag band of, you know, groupies he's made now in this latest arc. So, I can't wait to see what is going to happen. I really cannot wait to see what's going to happen. Because this, this arc's conclusion was fucking hands down probably one of the best conclusions of Fairy Tail's arcs in general. Besides the Tower of Heaven arc, like I said in the last chapter, this is definitely close to that. I love this fucking arc. It's had its, you know, problems. I can't deny that this arc hasn't had its problems. But for the most part, when it comes to entertainment and enjoyment, this arc has been absolutely fucking fun. It has been very fun to read. I've had a lot of fun reading this arc, and this is actually one of the main reasons why I love Fairy Tail, was because this arc actually went back into those tones that I sensed from the Tower of Heaven arc. And to see this, I'm like, yes, because every single little character in the guild, all the important characters, got through little development and a lot of setups for the final confrontation with Zeref and Ocnologia, and maybe even Natsu on top of that, since he is end. So yeah, tell me your thoughts. How do you feel about this chapter of Fairy Tail? I love y'all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.